Want to patent your invention? The chance is near. You've given it heart. Now get it in gear. It's Passage to Profit with Richard and Elizabeth Gearhart.
Well, hello, listeners.
You're listening to Passage to Profit with Richard and Elizabeth Gearhart and our media maven, Kenya Gibson.
With the Mad Hatter and Abraham Lincoln here on Passage to Profit.
It's the Mad Hattress.
Guess which
That's
one
Elizabeth.
is which? Who seems more honest and who seems more crazy?
I love your beard, Elizabeth. You look really good in that dark suit.
Well, it is the day before Halloween that we're taping this, so we wanted to mix it up a little.
We got dressed up just for this show.
We did. So
So
you can see those on social media.
Instagram and YouTube and all of those great things.
I am dressed as a Mad Hatter, but it's a woman's Mad Hatter, so you can imagine.
You're a Mad Hattress.
Yeah, I'm a Mad Hattress. You can
Right.
imagine the costumes a little skimpy in places, which is a little uncomfortable. But
Check out her wild stockings. That got my attention.
and you are.
I'm Abraham Lincoln, of course.
Yes.
7 years ago, Passage to Profit, the show for inventors, aired on WOR 710. So there, I did my whole Abraham Lincoln thing.
If 7 years ago was July 29th, 2018. But we have Anita Scipio. She's the receptionist at iHeart. And I remember the first time we came in here to tape the show, we were like petrified, of course, because we didn't know what to expect. We were scared. And Anita was there laughing and greeting us joyfully and really made us feel welcome.
Really, and she makes such an impression on anybody who comes into the studio. It's so nice to see her laughing and smiling and singing sometimes. The first time we were there, she actually sang while we were waiting for Kenya to come meet us. So, woman of many talents.
Thank you so much.
And it's so great to have you here. Thank you for coming on the show.
I'm very happy to be here. I'm so happy to have been invited. And I have to say that this is a wonderful experience for me today. And I do remember the first time you all came. And I definitely did want you all to feel welcome. And I do my best to make everybody feel that way because I take a lot of pride in my job. I've been at iHeart for 22 years, and it's been an amazing experience. I'm going to be retiring on January 10th, and so this is a time now for me to start looking back at all the wonderful experiences that I've had, and I've just got so many wonderful stories, that will keep me for the rest of my life. So
well, let's hear the first one.
And she has an iconic laugh.
Yes.
By the way.
Yes. And I always tell everyone that I have the best seat in the house. And I feel like I do because I'm sitting there in between answering phones and directing clients and helping listeners get their tickets. I'll just look up. And there's Snoop Dogg standing there, or there's Rick Ross, or there's Trey Songz, or there's some famous actress, I work for 6 different stations, so I get to see, people from every genre of entertainment. And it's just amazing. It really is. And all the top name artists that you could ever think of, I've probably met them, shook their hand, had them stay there in the lobby for me like for a few minutes until they're invited back to do their interview. So I get that up and close personal time with them. It's a dream come true. It really is. And it's just been amazing. And I'm cherishing every day until January 10th, all the great memories that I'm still making. And this is going to be one of them because we've talked about doing this for a while. And so it's just really a good day for me today. Patti LaBelle was in just the other day.
Wow.
Yeah, Patti came in and she's 75 years old. She looks amazing, and she took a great picture with me. And she wished me all my best for my retirement. That was just something wonderful, I share all this with my family and friends, and they're all just a little bit envious, And, I tease them a little bit, hanging out with the stars, being a boss, So, but I enjoy it, and I also enjoy including everybody in my joy, and the good times that I have, I just trying to make everybody feel welcome. We have new interns interns applying for the positions all the time, and they'll come in and I know they're nervous. I know they're frightened. And so I'm very sensitive to that. So I always try to make sure that I make them feel welcome. And some people are very, vivacious. They're talkative and they want to let me know eventually how much they appreciate that. But then there's a few that are just so quiet. You never know that I made any impact at all. And then at their last day, they'll come up to me and say, I just want to tell you, when I walked in, you smiled and you made me feel welcome. And I knew I was going to be okay here.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's one of the greatest joys that I could ever have.
Well, you have that to you. And I'm just from personal experience. I mean, this is a very rigorous business and, you have your days. And I would say that you are the common denominator in the building where I feel like everybody can just come and sit by you and you just feel better after talking to you.
Oh, thank you, Kenya.
You do.
Thank you so much. My mom used to always tell me, when you come into work, to put your best foot forward, leave all your problems behind, and give a full day's work, do the best that you can, and so, that stuck with me, and that's given me a lot of joy. I've made a lot of friends, and I feel like I've given a lot to people who stop by my desk, even if it's just a smile or a kind word, I look at my job as a job of service, and I enjoy doing that. If you come by my desk, I want you to leave a little bit better than when you first stopped by, whatever it takes to do that. That's how I try to be every day. And it's not easy sometimes because life is not easy, but it's really important to me to come in, give my best, and go home and know that I had the best day possible for myself and maybe make somebody else happy too.
And you do.
Thank you. And with that said, they're going to be throwing me a nice party. Just please feel free to bring gifts, okay?
So I have a question. So
Yes.
if you could pick anybody,
Yes.
like maybe famous person to come to your party,
Yes.
who would that be?
That would be Snoop Dogg.
Okay,
That
Snoop.
would
Well,
be Snoop Dogg. Yes, Snoop.
We'll put it out there. Snoop Dogg, you're
D-O-double-G,
invited.
come and see me. That's right.
Maybe we'll call Patty.
Yeah.
Patty can bring some pie.
Patty can bring some pies. Absolutely.
Because Patty didn't bring no pie this last
No.
time.
I love Miss Patty, but I was missing those pies. So maybe next time, if she hears this and she knows I'm retiring, maybe she'll send a few.
We take sweet potato.
Yeah, a peach cobbler. Absolutely. So, yeah. And my granddaughter, she's 11 years old, and she was at my house and was about 10 minutes before we were leaving to take her home. And she drew this beautiful picture for me. And she did it in 10 minutes. And I was like, oh, wow. So I brought her home. I came back and I looked at the picture and I was so impressed. And I said I was going to surprise her and make some T-shirts from it. So I got a friend to make some T-shirts. I brought him into the job. Everybody got so excited. And now I'm starting a little small T-shirt business to kind of promote her business, her drawings and, things of that nature. So that's an exciting thing for me to do. While I'm retiring, I'm going to start a little T-shirt business for her. It's G&G, Gala and Grandma, and just see where we go with that as a little side thing that we do. I'm also an ordained minister. So a lot of the joy that I get comes from loving God and from wanting to be the best that I can be so that he can be proud of me, And I know that sometimes I come in and I'm tired. I might be having family stuff. But I feel like I'm plugged into a source that is way greater than me, And so that's how I get to laugh almost all day long. So without that, I don't think I could do it, So I want to have my ministry, the T-shirt business.
You need a podcast.
You
need your own
Everybody's been
podcast.
telling me that for years.
You could just laugh on the podcast and we'd all listen to it.
That would be fantastic. That might be something that I do as well, This is a great start, sitting around here, feeling so comfortable. You all made me so comfortable, so you gave it right back to me to feel comfortable and say, well, this is just going to be a conversation. It's just natural. It's just fun. And so I felt really good about that.
So how did you get the job at iHeart in the first place?
What happened was I was going through some things and I heard this song on the radio. I called up to try to find out what song that was. And so they told me what song it was. And a girlfriend of mine who used to work at a country music station with me, she told me that they were hiring and asked me if I'd like to come and work for Light FM. So I'm like, oh my goodness, Deb, I sure would. So Deb put in a great word for me. I came in on a Monday and applied for the job. She had put such a good word in for me that they hired me that same day. I didn't have to do anything else. I came in, I did a little 15-minute interview, and they hired me. And I loved working for the station. Light FM was the number one at that time. And, you know, we would always have great celebrations, parties all the time, lobster steakhouses. I thought I was in a dream, you know.
We're getting to that with Passage to Profit soon.
And then eventually all the stations came together. You know, we had stations in New Jersey and other stations in Manhattan. And they kept me, and I also felt very honored that they felt that I was the one that could do that. So that was a big responsibility, but it was a big honor at the same time.
And it was back in the day when people really used to call up the radio station.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah.
It was not easy, you know. And now they've added, you know, iHeartMedia, and they added WOR. So it's been quite the journey, just a wonderful journey. I thank you all so much for having me here today.
What do you think you're going to miss the most?
What I'm going to miss the most is the morning time crew that comes and stands around my desk. And for about 10, 15 minutes of the day, we all stand around. Everybody shares what's going on in their life. Sometimes it's laughter and joy. Sometimes it's a little bit of prayer. And they'll come, you know, different times of the day. But like the first 15 minutes, I usually get a regular crew of people. They'll just stop by and they call me Mama. Mostly, a lot of people here call me Mama. And so I call them my children. And they'll come around and stand by the desk and just get a little morning joy. You know, they say, I'm just coming. I need a hug. I need a little joy. I need some love. And that's what we do every single morning. I will miss that very much. And then, of course, all the celebrity DJs, everybody, there's no egos. Everybody's wonderful and kind, and they'll stop by the desk. And it's a routine because everybody's on a schedule. So every day it's a routine that I can look forward to. I know who's coming out to get their cigarette. I know who's leaving to go to the bank. And it's just a joyful experience. But my best is that the beginning of the day when we're all together, like as a family, before everybody goes on their way. I'm also going to miss like just looking up, like I said, and seeing some of the biggest artists in show business just standing there, you know. That's something that I'll also miss. But my supervisor said I can come back and temp.
Oh, I was there when he said it.
Yes, that's
There's
right.
a witness.
I got my witness right here. So I look forward to still being with my family. I just want to travel, be with family in South Carolina, you know, and spend more time with my grandchild. So I've got great plans, you know. I've got great plans.
Where is your ministry?
Well, what it is, I used to teach at a church in the Bronx, but now I've decided that as opposed to preaching or teaching to a congregation, I like personal Christian counseling. So I do that. People can call me up, and I'll do like a half an hour counseling with them. That's something that I love a lot because when you give it away, you keep it. Every time that you give it to somebody else, it's just being reinforced back into your own mind and your own heart. So that's how I try to keep myself motivated and spiritually replenished. And that's what I've been doing for now because I want to slow it down a little bit. I want this time to be a little bit more for me. I've given a lot. I want to continue to give a lot, but I want to be just a little more, you know, selfish, you know, and take good care of Anita. Yeah. It's my time. I've been working for 50 years, 22 years here. And so it's my time.
It's time.
Yeah.
It's time. Yeah. Well, iHeart's really going to miss you, I'm sure.
Oh, and I'm going to miss them too. They've shown me so much love. I was at Powerhouse, and the program director, she made sure I had a suite. Thank you so much, Thea Mitchum. I appreciate you. And I was sitting there, and I had a suite last year also, and I'm thinking like, wow, you know, I'm the receptionist, you know, I mean, and not to make light of that, you know, but it's just like, that's a lot of love, you know, to have my own suite and sitting up at Powerhouse. It was just amazing.
You're our matriarch. I
Yes.
tell you that. That's how I introduce her when she comes in. People come into the building, and you're not just a receptionist.
Yeah.
Like you are a part of our family here, and everyone sees just what a beautiful spirit you have,
Thank you.
and how giving you are and kind you are. And you're only getting back what you're putting out.
Thank you so much.
You know,
sweetheart.
so
and to
Thank
meet
you.
Anita, if you're going to come in and do a show and to see her and feel her energy and her happiness and her joy, I think it makes all of the programming better because that's the first thing you see when you get off the elevator and walk into the studio.
And no one wants to talk about her leaving, by the way. It's like, we all have this thing where we're like, don't say that.
Nobody's dealing with it. No.
No, we're all in denial. We're going to be in denial as long as we can, just because, I can't imagine, and I don't want to get all verklempt, but I am. I can't imagine coming in and you not being there, especially on those days where you're here and you're like, God, I know I need somebody to talk to, and you've just always really been that for me. And I believe that God just, he always just puts really good people in your life,
Yeah,
and you are, I don't consider you a coworker. I consider you a very good friend. And you've
Thank
given
you,
me very
dear.
good advice about a lot of things.
Thank
I'm not
you
always
so
good at taking
much.
it.
But that's what I love about you. He's so feisty with a wonderful heart, a wonderful, beautiful heart. And thank you so much for saying that. I appreciate
God,
it.
it's the truth.
Yes.
It's the truth. Oh, see, I
Thank
was
you.
like, I'm going to get through this and I'm not going to cry. And here I am.
Oh, gosh.
You got to come back.
I love to come back. I like to come back and let you all know what I'm doing.
Sure.
All my big plans and hopes and dreams.
We want you to start that podcast.
Tell them you want a studio here for your podcast.
All right. Well, you know what? I am going to talk to somebody about that because just having this experience has been a lot of fun. It's not as scary as it seems, and sometimes you don't realize that, we all have something to give. We all have something to offer, something that we say, there's somebody sitting there now that goes, oh, I needed that. I needed that today, So I'm very grateful because as I've listened to podcasts or listened to shows, I've always been inspired by somebody, what they're doing, what they're thinking about doing, where the inspiration came from, and so I would be happy to be able to give some of that back to somebody else. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It really put that in my heart today. I think I'm going to follow up on that.
Anita Scipio, who has been a receptionist at iHeart for 22 years and sadly is leaving, but will be coming back to see people occasionally. You're listening to Passage to Profit on WOR 710, the voice of New York.
What are entrepreneurs' most valuable assets? Their passion and ideas. We can't protect your passion, but we can protect your ideas. Trust Gearhart Law to protect your ideas with premier patent, trademark, and copyright services. There's never been a better time to start your own business. Contact us at GearhartLaw.com. At Gearhart Law, we have years of experience protecting entrepreneurs' ideas and brands using patent, trademark, and copyright protection. So if you have a new consumer product, a new software application that you're planning to build or sell, or a brand or company name that you want to protect, contact the experts at Gearhart Law. www.gearhartlaw.com. Don't let the wrong protection strategy ruin your business. All of our attorneys are passionate about protection and are licensed and qualified to represent you before the United States Patent and Trademark Office. Don't start your project without calling us first. Contact Gearhart Law on the web at GearhartLaw.com. Together, we can change the world. This ad has been read by a non-attorney spokesperson.
Now back to Passage to Profit. Once again, Richard and Elizabeth Gearhart.
So with us today, we have Pat Garigula with Roxy App. Welcome, Pat. Give us your pitch again.
Hi, my name is Pat Gariglia, CEO and co-founder of Roxy. So a few years ago, I was having a pretty big party at my home. For me, it was a big party. I had like 40 people up at my place, and I spent the entire day setting up, getting things prepped for the party, and then the entire evening I was serving drinks, making food, taking out the garbage, and I was saying goodbye to my guests, and every person I said goodbye to, I started to realize I had not spent any time with them at all. And then a few months later, I had another large party at my house, and the same exact thing happened. Spent the whole day on party tasks. So I started making jokes. Why isn't there an Uber for parties where I can just get an on-demand bartender or somebody to come up and clean my party up and do all that hard stuff? So a few months later, I met up with my co-founder, Dax Boyson, and the two of us did a little market research, and we decided, all right, this seems like a viable thing. Maybe we should try to tackle this problem. So basically what Roxy is a platform. It's accessible by mobile device where it lets party hosts be able to access local qualified party staff to come work their party. So you just go on the app, say what kind of party you're going to have. You start browsing types of profiles. Like if I want a bartender, you make a selection. You can start to communicate with them. Payments, communication, all that's handled through the app. And we do reviews and ratings on workers and on hosts too. That's pretty much what it is.
That's great. And do you get invited to more parties now because you have this app?
I have been invited to some cool parties, and that's an interesting little side benefit, I guess, of doing this. Also, I need to sort of observe how the product is working in the actual field. So sometimes
That sounds like a really fun job.
Sometimes I get to do that.
So Pat was here a few months ago, I guess, and I do want to say, like a couple years ago, we had a party, and I had to book everything like 3 months in advance. How far in advance do you have to do it?
You can book it as far in advance as you want, but if you had a party in an hour, in theory, you could book that in an hour, and if somebody wants to work it and they're close enough by, you could get them.
Sounds like me.
Sounds like me.
Is
That's why I created Roxy.
Is that because you forget you're having the party, or you just don't get to it?
I'm just not a good planner, and this is why I don't do parties, because I'm not really into the whole cleaning thing, right?
This is why most people don't do parties.
Like the party cleanup part of it.
Or the cooking thing. So it's like this would be perfect because I wouldn't have to do any of that.
I mean, we don't provide the food, but we do have one of the worker types that we have on there are prep cooks.
Right.
So you could actually hire a prep cook to come in and do that.
But it'll help me get everything organized.
Right.
Yeah, that's very cool.
Tell us about your most recent development with your company.
Paris Hilton joined us back in August after a few months of discussions with her. So she's actually part of our team. If you go on roxyapp.com, you can see her up there on her site. She's Global Promotions Director for our company. So she's helping us with all the social media influencer campaigns and big promotions and things like that. You'll be probably seeing more of her and Roxy in the next 2 months.
Tell us how you got her on your team. Tell us from like the very beginning what happened.
We launched in January, and for every party that was put on our platform, I or Dax or one of our team members would call up the people who put the party on there and also call the workers because we were trying to get feedback. We wanted to make sure everything was working well. There weren't any kinks, get advice from them. So February 12th of 2019, I noticed that there was a really large event that got posted on our platform, and it was starting at like 10 o'clock at night and ending at 6 a.m., and it was for like 5 or 6 workers. And I was like, well, this is really unusual. Right, this is going to be a crazy party. So I called up the number on the, in the account for that host. And a guy picked up, and his name is Glenn. And I was like, hey, this is Pat from Roxy, blah, blah, blah. How do you like the app? He's like, it's great. I love this product. It's wonderful. And I was like, I'm just calling to get your feedback to make sure everything's okay and that you put in the right time. And he's like, no, I did. It's for a celebrity birthday party I'm helping out with, and that's it. So I called up all the workers who were signed up for that job, and I said, please do not be late. Make sure you're on time. I'm going to pay you an extra $25 if you just show up 5 minutes early than when you're supposed to be there. And sure enough, every one of them showed up.
Yeah.
And that 2 days after the event happened, I called up every single worker just to find out how did it go, tell me what was wrong with the product, what could we do better. And as I'm listening to one of them tell me, they said, well, Paris Hilton this is who the party was for. And I was like, that's pretty interesting. And the thing that makes this thing particularly interesting is that a year before, our advisor said to Dax and I that, you know who you need? You need someone like a Paris Hilton who could go and help you to promote in the Hamptons or in LA or somewhere like that. And this was just a casual comment. So fast forward to now when I'm talking to them on the phone, I said, okay, how did it go? And I heard it was Paris Hilton. So I then got contacted by her team a little while later, and she was interested in talking to us because she loved the product so much, and she's a big party planner, she's a big party promoter. And so I wound up going out there to go talk to her and find out really what her interest level was, if this was just, kind of for show. And it certainly wasn't. And she was extremely serious, very engaged, and really interested in what we were doing. And so it took us a little bit of time, but yeah, August, we got her on board, officially signed her on. So that's where we are.
So does Paris throw a lot of parties?
Paris throws crazy big parties, and she throws them often. In fact, the first meeting I went to, it was on a Friday, and I just went out there just to meet with her during the day. And she said, well, you're going to come to my party, right, tonight? And I was like, I am. I guess I am. Well, what kind of party is
How
it?
can
It
you
was a
say
huge,
no?
big party, and it was my first introduction to the kind of parties that she throws. It
Well,
was very
anytime you need a
interesting.
+1, let me know.
So I wanted to know, what is the inspiration for the name?
Right down the block is the Roxy Hotel, and we got the name from being at the Roxy. Dax and I were meeting there for probably 6 months, off and on, trying to come up with a little market research, and we were also just doing some product planning. And during that time, we were also trying to figure out what the name would be for the platform. And my wife made the suggestion that it should be a woman's name, something that's playful, fun, maybe sexy, something engaging. And we struggled for so long with that name. And we finally were like, we're giving up. I don't care about the name right now. We're just going to call it X. And I don't know, at some point, Dax and I were at the Roxy bar, probably having a drink or something like that. And he
Great
tapped
ideas.
Me on,
Come at the Roxy
exactly.
bar.
And he tapped me on the shoulder and he goes, we're standing in the name. I went, what do you mean? He goes,
Wow.
Roxy. That's the name.
Yeah.
I went, I love it.
It's great.
This is the perfect name.
A lot of great ideas come out of the Roxy. As a matter of fact, the idea for this show came out of the Roxy.
So if
Really?
you want to have
Yes.
a great idea,
That
go
is
to the
so
Roxy,
No,
have
it
a
was-
drink.
It was Kenya called me up and said, "Hey, I have a great idea for you guys. I just moved to iHeart. You want to come in and talk about it?" So she and I sat down with a bottle of champagne at the Roxy, and kind of
And
hammered
the
out a few
idea
of
got
the
better and
details.
better as the evening went on, and
Champagne
the rest
makes
is
everything better.
history.
You know?
Yeah, of course.
So can you get someone to clean your house through the app?
I suppose you could. I mean, the way the product is kind of set up, it's sort of geared towards events and parties. But I mean, I guess you could say I need somebody between 1 o'clock and 5 o'clock, and just call it a party. It's not. I mean, it doesn't need to be even
Party
named
cleanup. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, somebody would show up.
Yeah, because that's usually what I'm doing is running around making sure that everything's spick and span as much as it can be. And I usually have somebody come and help me with that. So I think that could be really valuable.
So, what is the most popular service that's requested on the app?
Bartending. A lot of people don't have parties where there's a tremendous amount of food. It might be just a get together. We've had poker nights, that kind of thing, and just want somebody to come and serve drinks and make drinks.
How many people are using the app?
To date, we have about 1,000. We have about 1,700
Okay.
users. It's not. We don't have a lot of users just yet. I mean, we've spent almost nothing on marketing and promotion. It's been a very slow sort of organic growth.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say we've had probably 75 parties since we launched, which doesn't sound like a whole lot, but for us, it's actually quite a bit because
Okay.
we've done almost nothing to get the word out.
Sure. Now, if I want to be like a service provider on the app, how does that work?
Just download Roxy Talent, and then you would be able to onboard yourself into the platform. You basically have to set up a profile, so you put your bio in there, you put your work history in there, you do an introductory video, put some pictures. You have to also get your identity checked and hook up your bank account, and that's it. And then everything's made public then to the customer. And they basically can interview you through messaging and things like that, and they look at your profile.
If you want to have a party, I mean, if you get a caterer, they want to bring all the food and cook it. But if you want to do your own food, but you don't necessarily have to cook it or serve it around, or you need a bartender or something, this is perfect. So if you are having a party, it's ROXIapp.com. Really, you should go on it and see. Maybe even get a chance to get a peek at Paris Hilton. Who knows?
Yeah, I have a discount
You can,
too for your listeners if you want.
Will Paris Hilton come to the parties if you invite her off the app? That could be like a prize, right?
It actually is something that we are more than likely going to do, where there is like a giveaway.
So what is Paris Hilton going to do to help you market the app? Can you give us a little bit of
Yep.
teaser here about what the marketing plan is?
Sure. So we've given this quite a bit of thought. We are starting probably in the middle of January with a large launch event here in New York. So that will be what will sort of propel us into the marketing campaigns that we're going to be using. So we'll be doing a lot of digital media ads at that point in time. She'll be gathering her friends to also help us with all the influencer campaigns. So she'll be doing quite a bit of that, obviously, herself. That's the main thing that she'll be doing.
Wow.
And then we'll be doing promotional events probably several times a quarter.
You're going to blow this out, and you are going to be the party app of New York. But
I hope so.
yeah, so how did they find you in the first place?
Craigslist.
You're kidding.
No, I spent $5 and I made an ad, put it on Craigslist, and it was an attempt to get workers. So our first ad we posted on January 19th, and we had within 1 or 2 days 150 people sign up. And one of her staff somehow found that ad. I'm not sure why they found that particular ad, and it wasn't even geared towards hosts, which makes it even odder.
Wow.
It was supposed to happen that way.
I guess
Well,
so.
because they thought it into existence a year before, right?
Yeah.
So you said people get a discount if they sign up?
Yes. RoxyApp.com/radio. You'll get 15% off.
So what size parties do you do? Like from 3 people up to 3,000 or?
There is really no limit on that. So I suppose you could have 3,000 people at a party. It'll be some party. You probably need a lot of staff.
A
So
stadium
please have a
party.
3,000
Yeah.
person party.
Large tailgate.
But
Yeah.
I think but if somebody is having a 3,000 person event, you know how it happens, like people don't show up at the last minute. This would be a good place for them to get those last minute replacements, right?
That's right. So it's kind of like staff augmentation for if you're a party planner or caterer, which, by the way, we have using our app already. They will find additional staff when they're short. We even have a restaurant. We had a restaurant recently in the last month or so use our app to get a busser for 3 weekends in a row because they were short.
Is it only New York right now?
Right now, it is New York and LA. So we have what you would call geofenced the platform. So now you can only download it. I mean, you could download it anywhere in the world, but it will only be accessible in New York City and the Los Angeles proper area.
And so for the back end of the technology, the servers and the software, you're ramped up so that you could hopefully handle like a huge amount of new traffic based on all of the promotion.
That is what we've been spending the last month and a half to 2 months doing. Once we knew that Paris joined us, we knew that the potential of, the hopeful potential that there could be some kind of blow up was pretty great or likely. So we were paranoid that if we didn't harden some of our platform, that we might have an issue with that. And so there was some things that we needed to tighten up, which we feel now more confident about. So we're going to be planning the larger promotion in the beginning of this year.
This is a great party app. And so can you get someone in an hour, or does it have to be more like 5 hours? Or
You can try to get someone in an hour. The problem is that most people are not looking at their phone 99% of the time. So if you notify them that they need to work, they might not see it for a half an hour, and they might be a half an hour away. So you could risk that. I mean, what do you have to lose? But ideally, you want to give them at least 24 hours in advance. I think that's the most sensible thing.
Right.
Most people know that they're having a party tomorrow, so try to
Unless
plan
you're
it
really
out.
spontaneous.
Right.
yeah. So it's Roxy app, ROXI app, and just follow what Paris Hilton's doing if you want to find out more about it, right?
That's
And are you on social media then?
Yes, we are. We're on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, Pat.
Well, thank you.
I'm so excited for you. And
Thanks.
You're listening to Passage to Profit on WOR 710, the voice of New York.
Hi, I'm Lisa Askley's the Inventress, founder, CEO, and president of Inventing A to Z. I've been inventing products for over 38 years. Hundreds of products later and dozens of patents. I help people develop products and put them on the market from concept to fruition. I bring them to some of the top shopping networks in the world: QVC, HSN, eVine Live, and retail stores. Have you ever said to yourself, someone should invent that thing? Well, I say, why not? Make it you. If you want to know how to develop a product from concept to fruition the right way, contact me, Lisa Askley's the Inventress. Go to inventingatoz.com, inventingatoz.com. Email me, lisa@inventingatoz.com. Treat yourself to a day chock full of networking, education, music, shopping, and fun. Go to my website, inventingatoz.com.
Passage to Profit continues with Richard and Elizabeth Gearhart.
We have a special guest. This is sort of iHeart presentation evening, and we have Wax.
Yo.
Hey, man, how's it
What's
going?
going on, my brother? How you doing?
Hey, we're doing just great. And you're doing a podcast right now,
Yeah,
right?
I got a new podcast. Is not fairly new, like 6 months right now. It's called Bully and the Beast. Me and my co-host, starring L'Oreal on IG. She's a DC radio host on the morning show. Yeah, we came together and making magic, I guess, I mean, this podcast is not for kids and grandmas. It's literally like your drunk uncle. It's your drunk uncle and locker room talk mix.
So my son would love it.
Oh, yeah.
He's 28 years old.
Oh, yeah. See, give it to him. Give it to him for a Christmas gift. It's a great holiday gift for the drunk uncle. He'll understand all the language.
So
Does it matter what he's drinking? I mean,
This one right here, it don't even matter. Just give it to him.
so it's on all the platforms. And how often do you do it?
Try to every Monday it comes out. Every Monday morning it comes out. You will be able to go subscribe on all the podcast apps, Spotify, Apple. Go check that out. Bully and the Beast.
So who's the bully and who's the beast?
I'm the beast.
And for our listeners who haven't seen Wax, I mean, he is a beast. How much do you weigh? You're like what, 260?
No, not that much. 250.
But how long can you hold a plank for?
I can hold a plank. If somebody really challenging me and they tell me $1,000 a minute, I don't know how long I can hold it. But right now, probably if you tell me that, I probably do about $5,000. So we talk about 5 minutes.
Oh my gosh, I can't even do 5 seconds.
Yeah, listen, planks ain't no joke. People sit there and they don't get it. There's certain things that we just can't do that we supposed to be able to do, like our body weight. Planks is supposed to be easy. Right. Look how hard it is. People can't even do like 10, 20 seconds of it.
I know. So what do you do to work out?
Planks.
That's all he does.
That's all
he looks like a tank. It's
no,
his secret.
I try to do it like I used to play ball, so it's like still in that mode and that routine. So I do at least try to do like 300 push-ups a day, throughout the day, about 100 to 200 pull-ups a day. Always try to get at least 100 lunges a day. Lunges is like the push-ups for legs. Right. You know what I'm saying? So I always try to get that just to try to stay in, because I also got another job. You know what I'm saying? I do some security for the building, make sure everybody stays safe. So I also got to be in shape and make sure y'all stay good.
So have you ever had an issue at the building?
Plenty. There's plenty of issues, but we do it
where
quiet.
You had to get physical with somebody?
Yeah, we do it very quiet and very professional. Me and the crew downstairs, we come together in very good communication, and we make sure y'all safe every day.
Yeah, I mean, we have to show our driver's licenses every time we come in. And I'm glad that we do, because this is New York. There are a lot of crazy people running around.
Yes,
well, especially media company. It just is like attracts all sorts of different.
And the thing is with these guys, they just think they know you, because they hear you on the radios and they hear you out here. So they be like, I got a connection to this guy. I can come there and give him a headlock and give him a noogie. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, you can't get this guy no noogie, bro.
You can't do that.
You can't do that. And I'm looking at him like, yo, I know you know me. I heard you. I've been listening to you for 5 years. I'm like, bro, you can't. What you doing? Yeah, we appreciate you. You know what I'm saying? You're investing your time.
We're glad you're a fan.
Yeah, but come on, you can't get away with that.
So how did you get started, and how'd you get the name?
Wax?
Bully and Wax too. Yes. How did you get the name Wax?
Is that your real name?
Yes. My father was obsessed with car washes, so
Is that right?
No, I'm lying.
Yeah, I was gonna say. That's brutal. You don't do that to your kid.
You don't do that to your kid.
I thought you got the name Wax because you're so smooth.
No. It's like whenever things get hot, I run.
Oh man.
When it cooled down, I hurry back up. I'm like, all right, I'm good here.
Oh my God.
That's just like life, A lot of times is when we get some pressure on us and stuff, we usually run. You know what I'm saying? That's just like things start heating up. We like, oh, we out of here. You know what I'm saying? When the wife get upset at you,
so
you out of here, right?
So let me get this straight. You're in security,
yes,
and
sir.
you're named Wax because you run
from
when
women.
Things get hot.
From women.
Oh, from women.
That's it.
I thought you were talking about security business.
Nah, man. That's when I use the fire. That's when the fire come out. But yeah, when it comes down to women, when your wife give you that look in the house, when it's time.
I get it all the time.
But you know when to turn around and get out of there. You know when to run.
Well, for me, there's
Wax.
no place to run, but
you gotta have a man cave. Come on, you got a man cave?
We got a man cave.
He's got a basement.
There you go. You got to get out the way.
Hey, all I need is a basement in the garage, and
That's
I'm
it.
happy.
And I'm the happiest man in the world. I can have leaves on it. I'll be good. That saves marriages. I used to be a firm believer, like a side girl save marriages. Some of them do. You know what I'm saying? But if you have a man cave, that's just as good as a side girl.
Well, that's good to know.
So you know what you should do? Always fix his man cave up. Keep him away from the side girl.
That's right.
So is this the kind of stuff you talk about on your podcast?
Yeah, I really get in trouble on my podcast. I like to get other people in trouble. It's like I'm bringing in another segment is paternity test. I want to do on my because a lot of people out here do not know if these kids are theirs or not, and we got to figure this out.
So you're going to have paternity tests. You're going to reveal it for the first time on the air.
Yes.
And you're going to have kids and their parents, maybe.
They don't even have to come in. It's like, you go ahead and you call in. I send a paternity test to your house. You swab your mouth. You swab the baby mouth. But when it's time to sign it to get the results, you send it to our show. And we'll call you up or you come in. It all depends on how you want to get the reveal.
So who gets the results? Everybody, the mom, the dad, the baby all together? Or
it comes to the show, and it all depends on who all want to be involved with it. You know what I'm saying? Of course, they all want to know. They're going to figure it out, believe me.
Is there like a prize?
I mean, no.
18 years of child support.
But a lot of people, see, the thing is, a lot of people don't even want to go through that process. They don't know how to go through the process. So guess what? We got you. We're going to hold you down. Come to our show. Not only that, if you want to break up with your girlfriend, if you don't know how to do it, we got you. If you want to sit there and get fired from your job, you want to quit your job, I got you. You want to raise? Wax, I'm going to talk to your boss. Or even if your boyfriend want to put his hands on you, I got your back. Like, your buddy, man, what's going on? What happened?
That sounds like a good show.
I got your back, man.
Do you call people up and prank them ever?
I don't know if we were able to do that, but I would love to do that. But I would like to get online, like, yo, this person was talking. You got their number? Let's call them on three-way. You'd be like, yo, this Wax from the Bully and the Beast show, man. What's going on? I heard you had a problem with so-and-so. What happened? I'm like, nah, I don't care. I don't like that dude and la, 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 la. And then the other dude comes like, what you mean?
That would be a good. There was one when we were in Atlanta. There was a show where they would pretend to be somebody else. Like they would call up and say, yeah, well, this is Wax's girlfriend. Who's this? What? This is his wife. No, he's not me. They would
this is great stuff. This is great stuff.
They would prank people so bad, and some people would get so mad.
Oh man, listen, it's always to get the wife on for the husband, and so the husband get in trouble because we always gonna get in trouble anyway. It's just like a thing that if your wife not on you and like you're not always in trouble, you ain't doing nothing. She don't love you. If y'all got a great relationship and y'all ain't arguing nothing, that ain't no relationship. That's not love. Because you don't care what the other person does. You're like, I don't care.
That's true.
But if she on you, oh man, you love.
It's like perfect, right?
This is she love you so much. This is great. I can't wait to get married.
Yeah, you're gonna get married, right? Is it a done deal?
No, it's not. I mean, I'm definitely structured for marriage. I'm like, it's holiday time. I'm supposed to try to break up with as many people as I can right now, so I have to get so many presents. Come on, it's the
but
same
you're not
routine.
going to get as many either, right?
I never care. Just a day of life for me is great for me. You know what I'm saying? So I don't even really worry about that. Once you went through something so bad in life, and now anything better than what that was, every day of life is like a present. So
last week we were talking about this. You were saying you were waiting for your girlfriend to ask you, right?
Yes, like I want to try to wine and dine her so much so she can ask me out to marry her, because if I mess up, it's her fault.
Because you asked.
You asked me. I didn't ask you. You know what I'm saying? So you want to ask me? You that tough? You think this is what you want? I'm going to give you what you want, baby.
So you're probably going to have to buy her a lot of wine.
But you'd be surprised. I had girls who told me that they'll marry me. You know what I'm saying? And they didn't even know me. They was like, I would marry you today. And I was like, I don't know what you're going to marry me for. You don't even know me. But I guess girls always got different agendas. I don't know what it is. Like, what is it? Like, when the women go to men, like, what is on your mind? Like, it's hard for me.
It's been so long for me since I was single that I couldn't even remember.
It's because everybody. I think all women got all ulterior motive. They don't just go to guy. You see millions of men all day. What made her pick that guy out?
I think it's all biochemical. I think it's things that you emit out into the atmosphere.
Pheromones.
Yes,
Yeah.
so your energy was just at the same time,
Yeah.
connected at the same time, it just latched on.
Yeah. So you said something about overcoming bad things in your life. Have you had some adversity that you've had to overcome?
For sure, man. I went through different court cases, man. I went through, just growing up in the hood, growing up in New Jersey. It's just
that's a hurdle in and of itself.
Yeah, period. You know what I'm saying? And growing up, and I got 12 brothers and sisters, same mom and dad, and same household. So he wasn't having everything that we wanted back in the day. So I went towards the wrong way. And a lot of times when you go the wrong way, it's kind of the best thing for you because it's things that you learn. if you escape and stay alive, you learn a lot. You know not to ever go there. And I see guys that was goody two-shoes when I was in high school and stuff like that, like the good guys, good grades and stuff. Of course, I graduated with 0.6 GPA, so it was nothing to me.
Is that like even possible?
They let wax go through because I played ball. But I seen these guys now, they out here, they popping pills, and they want to start doing different drugs, and they always have this thing in their head as this perfect life because they felt like they cruised life through and never got in trouble and all this other stuff. All the dudes that got in trouble with me, we all out there owning businesses, and we all out there, we all still got that same hustle mentality that we had when we was younger. So it helped me if you escape, but if you get caught up in that life, and it means either dead in jail in certain situations. So, I escaped a lot, and it built me, but it still put me in a situation to where it's like, I escaped it, now let me fly straight. So there's no need for me to try to go back there. So yeah, that's what I meant.
So people can reinvent themselves.
Oh, for sure. You're supposed to try to grow every single day. Like every day. The day you see me do a plank, if I ain't better than I was back then, I wasted how long? I wasted a couple of months now. You know what I'm saying? Like even I look at it as yesterday. I want to be better and stronger than I was yesterday. Every single day. If you try to get better and stronger, why are you here? Like why I need to learn. Get a project. Try to get a goal every single day. Try to get a goal and try to reach that goal. People scared to even challenge themselves.
Yeah.
People are really scary. You know what I'm saying? So we got to just try to every single day just like give yourself a goal or y'all too, get a bank account and be like every day this number have to change and get higher. I don't care if it's $1 y'all both put in a day. But if it say $16, tomorrow better be 17 or higher. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's how you grow. You see yourself growing. If nothing else growing, you put yourself and y'all two put something together. I don't care if it's a tree that y'all both go in the backyard and plant together. You know what I'm saying? You got to try to build together and see something to grow. And you be like, if nothing else working, we'll at least have something to grow. You know what I'm saying?
What else is there? I mean, if you aren't growing, then what else is there? I guess
you're
there's
dying.
Then you're dying, yeah.
You're kicking back. You can only do that for so long.
Yeah, you're wasting away, man. And it's like, who are you for real? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's a wonderful attitude, and I'm constantly learning new things. And
Amen.
I'm way older than you are, but I'm still doing it. But
God
That looks good, doesn't
listen,
she?
yes. Listen, God bless you, man. And I look at it like when people say that, I say, God gave you that many more days than me because I ain't even get there. So, like, you're blessed. That's amazing. Like, God gave me that many more days. Like, you got to look at it like that. If you can put me at 150, I don't care. Let's go, baby.
But I think what you're saying is really important because I've had bad things happen in my life. And the thing is, everybody has bad things happen.
Yes.
Yeah.
Everybody has physical challenges that happen, mental challenges, emotional
Heartbreaks,
challenges.
unfairness. It's
Deaths in families. Like, we all go through it.
Yeah.
It all depends on how you get up out of it, though.
Right.
Don't stay and soak in it.
Yeah.
Like, I hate talking about what happened. I only want to talk about solution. I'm a straight solution guy. Y'all want to argue and talk about what happened? Y'all go over there. When y'all figure out, like, so what we going to do about it, that's when you call wax in there.
Right, because I think if you think too much about the bad things that happen, they come to define your life.
Yes, and you dwell in it. And now, if you dwell in it for 2 hours, you just lost 2 hours of being negative. You lost 2 hours of being miserable, sad. If I could be happy 24 hours of the whole day, I want to be happy.
Yeah.
Why you going to give me 10 minutes of sadness? Or tell you got to give me 10 minutes I don't want that 10 minutes. You can keep it.
Snap out of it.
Exactly.
Snap out of it, man. You gotta talk to yourself. You gotta have daily things, man. I go to the Bible app. I go to Proverbs, man. I put Proverbs on my ear and just go ahead and listen to Proverbs all day. I sleep with it sometimes. I can't sleep at night. Man, I go ahead and put Proverbs, the King James Version. I go ahead and put Psalms or something in, and I just listen to the word and just grow. Or I just make myself, whatever pain I think I got, I start doing push-ups. Whatever pain that is, I'm going to push it. I'm going to do so many push-ups that I'm going to transfer this pain. I'm going to make this hurt so much, I'm going to forget about whatever I was thinking about.
Right.
Get on there and do as many push-ups as you can till you can't. I'm talking about till you can't do no more. I promise whatever you're thinking about. I don't mean death or nothing like that. I mean like, oh, this girl at the job is talking too much or she hating on me. It's everybody's hating. You know what I'm saying? So, all right, don't worry about that hater. Don't worry about them things that bring you down. You know what? Go ahead and do some push-ups and stuff like that or challenge yourself in something. I bet you'll transfer that pain.
There's always going to be people that don't like you or don't like what you're doing or say, don't do that or, and you get to decide. And you just have to say, well, you don't like me? Okay, well, bye.
Perfect.
Right? And
Perfect.
I'm not going to fret over somebody not liking me, right?
You can't. There's no need for that. I'm saying you sit there, you don't sit there and go in somebody else's pain. If they sitting there messing around with you, that's what they got going on. I'm not going to get in your world and be miserable with you. I'm not going to do that to myself. I'm not going to allow you to throw all your hurt and your pain off on me. That's what they eat every day. I'm not eating all that type of garbage because you are what you spit out. That's all you got in you. All that stuff they doing to you, they doing that to themselves. They hurting inside and they trying to spew it out on you. I'm dodging that stuff like I'm out the way. I hear stuff come at me. Wax did this. I say perfect. I did it. How was it? You got to just agree with them. You know what I'm saying? When anybody ever say something because they want to argue with you, you don't have time for that. You want to think positive. Oh, yeah, I did that. Oh, yeah. All right, I'm sorry about that. I did that, right? All right. Now what you got to say?
Yeah.
You got to beat them at their own game. So
That's great.
I think the worst thing is when people lie, though. I mean, just if you're going to be the way you are and be yourself, just be honest and authentic, right?
yes.
It's
But
really-
everybody lies, right? And you have, well, not everybody, but a lot of people do. And you have to just kind of try to figure out when it's happening, right? And then you
It's
just
always a
gotta,
good
and you
time.
just gotta say, well, that's human. Some people do that. That's how
Sometimes
they get
you
through.
have to, though. You know, sometimes you have to lie. When a wife asks you how she look and she look ridiculous. And she look totally ridiculous. And you late and it's time for you to go. I think you need to tell her, baby, you look beautiful.
Well, he did not lie about this costume
Yeah.
that I'm wearing today. He
Well, I
said,
guess
that looks awful.
He really loves you. That's
You
the
wore
real
it
love.
anyway.
I wore it anyway.
Yeah, you can't. I hate liars, man. Liars are the worst. You know what I'm saying? I don't hate anybody in the world. Well, I can't. Let me say, I dislike the most. I don't care what you are, who you are, what you do in your life. They ain't got nothing to do with me. But when you lie and take choice out of somebody else's, that's what hurts me. Is like, bro, you could have gave that person another choice to do better in life, but you held them back off of a lie. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't like that type of stuff. You know, nobody really does nothing to me. Like, you know what I'm saying? I could walk around, nobody get bullied.
That's
me.
because you're 250 pounds.
Yeah,
You're wax. You know,
that's what
nobody
I'm
does
saying.
anything.
Not at all. So it's like I be seeing my beefs come from, and I stop disliking other people because how they treat other people.
Yeah. I mean, same thing happens to me.
I can't take that.
If I see somebody like abusing a waiter or waitress, it changes
man.
my opinion of them completely.
Completely.
Right.
I don't even like you no more, bro.
Yeah,
Well, I talked to one of my guys said something about his mom, and I'm like
you say that about your mom?
you hate me. Like, you would never respect me. You know what I'm saying? Even one of the females I used to talk to, I went by the house and she was just on her father, like talking disrespectful to her father. I said she would never respect me.
Right.
She would never. You talk to your dad, like your number one man in your life, supposed to be. You talk to him like that, you would never ever have respect for me. And that's how even y'all women out there, if you sit there and seen a man talk to his mama crazy, oh, you next, baby.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
You next.
Absolutely.
Don't even worry about it. It's coming.
Yeah.
You might get a little extra sauce.
Yeah, people who can only hide their true selves for so long.
For so long.
So when can we hear your podcast? On Monday?
Every Monday, man. Yeah, go do that. Me and L'Oreal, we're gonna make sure we give y'all a good show.
And how do they find it?
The podcast app. We on YouTube. We are just type in Bullying the Beast. I think we doing a couple of numbers. I think we doing all right. For now, you just go ahead and pop it in, and we pop right up. You know what I'm saying? Then you see the 250 big black guy over there in the corner, and L'Oreal big head. Perfect is perfect.
You guys sound like great partners.
Yeah, listen to the show. You can tell completely.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Well, thanks for joining us,
Yeah,
Wax.
man,
It's
this
great
is
to have
fun,
you
man.
here. Yeah, man, you're awesome.
I didn't even know y'all even had this. You should have been having me. I like this. It's kind of fun.
Yeah, you can
Yeah, we-
come anytime
yeah.
you want.
This
Yeah.
is great fun.
Yeah, that was a fun conversation.
Well, thanks for coming, man. We'll get you on here again.
God bless.
Passage to Profit with Richard and Elizabeth Gearhart. We'll be right back after this message.
There's never been a better time to start your own business. The opportunities are infinite and only limited by your imagination and enthusiasm. enthusiasm. At Gearhart Law, we believe the most successful companies all have one thing in common. They start with a solid foundation first. Gearhart Law has years of experience protecting entrepreneurs' ideas and brands using patent, trademark, and copyright protection. So if you have a new consumer product, a new software application that you're planning to build or sell, or a brand or company name that you want to protect, contact the experts at www.gearhartlaw.com. Our professionals will create a custom strategy designed to fit your needs and your budget. All of our attorneys are passionate about protection, licensed and qualified to represent you before the United States Patent and Trademark Office. Don't start your project without calling us first. Visit GearhartLaw.com. Together, we can change the world. Visit GearhartLaw.com. This ad has been read by a non-attorney spokesperson.
Now more with Richard and Elizabeth. Passage to Profit.
This was a really fun show. It was really kind of different than what we usually do, but I thought it was awesome.
I thought we were kind of on the edge there with Wax and his craziness.
But we had Pat Garigula, who's really making progress with that Roxy app. I mean, the fact that Paris Hilton's people found him on Craigslist and hired him and loved him so much that...
Well, we always recommend that clients get celebrity endorsements. We had one client, their name was Lumi, and they had lighted cell phone cases where you could get a selfie, and the case itself had some lights on it, so it would brighten the picture. And they had Kim Kardashian do an endorsement for them. She loved the product. She got involved with it, and it just took off. Ended up in Apple stores and Verizon stores. And so if you can get a top-name celebrity endorsement like that for your product, it's a home run. Paris Hilton is like the ultimate. I mean, she's like the party girl. It's like the perfect endorsement for their products. So they're going to be going to the moon for sure.
And then we had Anita, who is retiring from iHeart, but she was amazing. Hopefully she'll start a podcast.
And if our listeners go to our webpage and our YouTube channel, sometimes we're recording our pictures and our guests in the iHeart studio before the program, and you can hear Anita in the background laughing.
So I guess that it's time for us to go. Another great show. I am going to be sad to take off my costume, but happy at the same time. I'm not going to walk around New York like this.
No.
So we'd like to thank everybody for coming today, and we have a few more people to thank. We'd like to thank our media maven, Kenya Gibson, our scrumptious producer, Noah Fleischman, our incredible engineer, Rob Barretts, and the whole iHeart team. And listeners, don't forget to join us next week for another amazing guest and another excellent round of pitches, and you can start thinking about what your pitch will be.
So are we going to dress up like turkeys for the Thanksgiving show?
I am going to be a leprechaun for St. Patrick's Day.
There you go. So, and don't forget, too, to like us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. This is Richard and Elizabeth Gearhart from Gearhart Law with Passage to Profit on WOR 710, the voice of New York.